So last night I had the honour of inviting some old Persian friends round for dinner, and if there's one thing I've learned over the years from working with people from all sorts of different cultures, it's that you cannot understand a people group or a culture from the actions of their leaders, particularly the current political leader who's just in power at this small moment in time. They rarely represent the richness and beauty of that people group or that culture, and nowhere is this more true than in Iran. The stories we get from Iran justifiably are traumatic. The current group of ayatollahs are a terrible representation of their people, a small, inept, corrupt, psychotic group of people who just seem determined to eradicate Israel and persecute their own people. And that couldn't be further from the reality of the Persian people, who, like I say, are some of the kindest, most welcoming, and most bravest people I've ever met. And so for me, if I really want to get to know a culture, one of the things I love to do is to invite people round, or invite myself round, sometimes cook up some of the food from that culture. So with Persian food, I actually borrowed the book Persiana from my friend Catherine and John. I think it was actually the sequel to Persiana, Sabrina Gayor's book. I marinated some chicken thighs and pomegranate and ginger and slow cooked them until they were falling off the bone. Brilliant recipe. And then sat down over a Persian feast and just listened to my Persian friends tell me their stories, tell me their history, tell me all the facets of their culture that people don't know. And it was amazing. Most people think of Persia as a sort of desert Middle Eastern culture, but it's actually very mountainous. You can go skiing in the north. Most people think of it as Islamic, but actually a lot of people are agnostic. A lot of the people I've interviewed are Christians. In fact, that's why they're here, because they're escaping persecution. They speak Farsi, not Arabic. And there's a rich hospitality culture which goes back centuries. Even strangers who come to Iran are welcomed in to family homes as like beloved friends. So I always say stories around the dinner table are a much better insight into a culture than stereotypes in the news. So next time you see something in the news about a certain people group or a culture that you think, well, that's not very nice, I always say try and find someone from that culture, invite them around for dinner and hear the story from their point of view. Because as is so often the case, the real people in a culture are so much more beautiful and so much more insightful than the stories you read about in the news. So thank you to Sabrina Gayor for a delicious recipe. Thank you to my Persian friends for everything you shared with me. And I'll be praying for a revolution in Iran where the world can really see what the Persian people are truly like.